Now that you're back here, what are the things that you want to implement that you might have seen?
I was hoping that since people are going out to the market, working in this kind of a format, my guess is that they probably would not mind to leave their data with us. I hope that from the retail market perspective, we can gather more data and insights.
You wanted to be more active in terms of being able to engage with customers,
Correct.
right? And you feel that this was a good model that we can try to adopt.
Right.
So, in terms of what you've been doing lately, which is really pushing very, very hard in the oral care category, we have brushes, for example, tongue cleaners. How has the process of penetrating the market with a rarely unknown brand, like it was brand new when you brought it in?
Let's rewind a bit back to 2020. When you knew me, I was with Theme Park in Singapore at Sentosa. I was at Kidzania, Singapore.
Yeah, you were at the theme park. You left at a very opportune moment, I feel. And
right.
you were with another retail company. And thereafter I think that was where you really started to build your foundation of your knowledge on retail.
Correct.
You were dealing with products like the Himalaya, what was it called?
Himalaya, like sea salt.
Sea salt, the candy basically,
Correct.
right? And from there, I think you started to really build your network.
Give you some context. I was all the way in the corporate many years, from theme park industry to media industry. Finally, back into when I got in distribution. The distribution network, it's an entire different field. The people that I meet is also different. And when I started doing this thing, when I started engaging the buyers and started engaging store ICs, store crew,
store managers,
they are all very different leagues of people. Like they come from different walks of life. Unlike the people who I used to meet, they are executives, marketing managers. They talk to you about what's your marketing strategy, what's your your planning. Down here, they are asking you every day is how much you're willing to pay me as a supplier.
And by pay, we're really talking about support in terms of
the advertisements, the shelf displays, and everything. It's a very different understanding of the lingo and the languages that they are trying to put across to you. So I don't have to do a 20 PPT anymore.
I mean, yes, you no longer have to make very long, lengthy presentations.
Yeah.
I think you really have to think a little bit more practical and down to earth, right? When it comes to presenting your information and your plans, when it comes to talking to buyers and
that's right.
people in procurement, right? It must have been very, very different, I would imagine. And is there any example of strange incidents that you've encountered before?
It was so when I started going into the market, as a newbie, trying to penetrate into the market and stuff. Still, one of the strengths that I had to use was to use network and connections. Like, hey, I need somebody to recommend me in and stuff. But when it comes to context of the lingo and to the absolute support and everything, it's very different from corporate. So when I was with one of the buyers, right, then she asked me, she said, what are you selling now? I said, I'm going to sell you a tongue cleaner. Then she said, we don't have tongue cleaner here, but we don't mind a toothbrush. When I told her my price, then she was like, wow, this is so much more expensive than the rest of them. Are you sure you're going to succeed? And when I showed her the tongue cleaner, she was like, wow, this is even more expensive than any other things in the market, because for oral care to be priced at that range.
Yeah.
Until, a point whereby she asked me, please tell me about your unique selling points. So when I told her all the points and everything, she's like, she's clueless. Right? So we started selling. The funniest part is here. So when we started launching our products into the market, people thought that our tongue cleaner was a toothbrush.
I had the same thought, to be honest.
Yeah, so like the context of all these things, right? When we were running through all this point around here, it's just different. Like when I speak to the buyers, last time in the corporate, we would talk a bit more, okay, what's your next plan and here? Or here, some of the people where I speak to, they go straight to the point, and when you don't support them, or when you do something that is not directly in their favor, you get an immediate scolding.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I mean, this is true. I mean, ultimately we feel that, right? We're all trying to build something together. We're all trying to achieve good results. We all want to bring something nice and something helpful and something that people can use. And obviously, everyone's running a business. They want it to be successful as well. That's very, very understandable. But there are times where you don't necessarily see eye to eye, or something unforeseen or unprecedented happens, right? That happens fairly frequently, especially I think in the last couple of months. There's been a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the global supply chain, right? You have to be very, very familiar with that. So I remember, like, just before you went to Japan, we were at the office, you were in your car, you were about to drive off, I think. I could hear someone scream at you, through your car's speaker, because you had your hands-free on. I could hear, and I was about maybe 6 or 7 meters away from your car. So I remember calling you immediately afterwards and asking you, hey, what was that about? And you said that, oh yeah, that was a buyer that was calling because I think there were some issues that that we encountered. But it's something that you have to face on a day-to-day basis, and I would say that you face it very well. You definitely take things in your stride, and you try to turn negatives into positives. I think it's something that you do. Now I'm going a little bit overboard with the phrase. So, but yeah, I think it's something that you do very well, and you maintain these relationships, in a really positive way. Has it changed your mind on the retail industry?
Should I put it? It's very different. Let me bring you back like 2020. I was trying to tell you early on. It slipped my mind, and then now let's go back to 2020. So when I left the theme park industry and COVID hit, that's what I was asking myself: am I going to go into retail? Going to go into distribution?
Yeah, you were at a crossroads. Yeah.
I was at crossroads. Yeah, and then of course, fortunately, I chanced upon this brand, Chisel Factory. So what does Chisel Factory means? It means toothbrush factory.
Yes, Chisel means toothbrush.
Toothbrush, that's right.
It's a very direct name.
So it was through some friends that we got to know the owner of this brand, and so I'm not the creator of the brand, right? So they are based in Korea. It was a small company, but it was directly from the factory, which means that you know that when it's directly from the factory means that you can QC everything inside. So I asked myself this question: am I going to do this, or am I going to go back into corporate, or am I going to do what? Now I was very comfortable in a corporate, right? I'm holding a good corporate position at that point of time. I left the corporate. I was at the crossroad. So it was all about asking myself, what am I going to do next? So my wife came to me and tell me this thing: do what you like to do. And then I told myself this thing is that I'm going to try it once.